up, y'all, and welcome to another video. If it's your first time stopping by my channel, I'm Jeffro, and this is Jeffroz FishKeeping. Working in the fish room today, and you're gonna wanna watch this video to the very end because at the very end something cool happens and you're not gonna wanna miss it. Hopefully you guys enjoy. What is up, y'all? Just working in the fish room today. Got to get some of this stuff ready for the summer tubs to come in, and this little tank right here has not been doing much of anything. If you guys know, I haven't showed it very much on the channel here, but I've had a couple of crayfish in here for a few months and I just rehomed them, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to vacuum out all of this substrate and get it as clean as I can, and go ahead and fill the tank back up and try to wet down a bunch of this duckweed that is mattered around the tank, because with the crayfish I've never been able to keep it full because they would get out. Got a new light for the tank. I'm gonna go ahead and let this tank get all settled and clean really good. I might, the next time I do a water change on it, paint the background again because you can see through it in a few places. But what I'm gonna do with this tank is when I break the summer tubs down, I'm gonna bring in all the Mexican beach pebbles and I'm gonna stack those up in a corner, and I'm gonna bring those black shrimp that have been tubbing out there that I don't know how they've done. I don't really know if they've done any shrimplets yet or not. And then I'm gonna bring all my panda guppies in and put in here, and then I'm also going to take all 3 clutches of baby super reds and I'm gonna grow out my super reds in this tank. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm not gonna get it all done today, but this video is gonna be all split up, but that's what I'm starting right now. All right, guys. Got it drained. I sucked a bunch of the mulm off the bottom and cleared it up a little bit. I am gonna bring the algae scrubber in here and scrub it up pretty good, and then put a bunch of new sand in the bottom and then fill it up. And the filter is a cycled filter, but just let it start cycling. I don't know if I'm gonna put a heater in here or not. This room does get kind of cool in the winter time. But yeah, I was just in here doing water changes and I knew that I got to get started on this, so I'll show you guys when I'm another step or so farther, and maybe whenever I get done filling it up here in a little bit. Alright guys, got all the tanks drained down in my water change that I'm working on here, and wanted to show you guys something. A long time ago when I planted this tank, the driftwood that's in there, this piece that goes up here, and then there's a piece over here that goes down. I put some Java Christmas moss in there, and I want to show you guys what it's doing. It's really cool. The actual water level line is like somewhere around in here somewhere, and as you can see, this Java moss is growing up and out. Let me get this out of the way here so you guys can see it. It's growing up and out right over there, and then if you can see back there on that piece in the back, it's growing up and out, and then this piece right here, and it's really soft and it stays wet all the time because it soaks the water from here up to here, and you can see where the wood is wet even above the water line too. And yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I've been watching it for a long time, but it grows really good out of water. I'd like to get that in my vivarium, but anyhow, I'm gonna fill all these tanks in here up, and this one might not look like much tonight, but after I get it filled back up and I've got the sponge filter in there at least, we'll take a look at it, and if it's not cleared up, then I'll show you it tomorrow after it's cleared up. So just trying to get prepared to get these summer tubs taken down
And I've been needing to do something with all these bristlenose for a long time. I've got like probably about 20 or 30 in here. And then I've got some new ones in here. And then I've got 30 or so a little bit older ones in here. So I'll put some driftwood in here and grow out some super reds and put some guppies in here and some black shrimp and see what we can do with it. It'll be a lot better looking than the crusty old crayfish. Alright guys, I've got all the water changes done in this room, and can't have a new tank without some guppy grass and some mopani and some caves. I'll mess around with that substrate a little bit more whenever I bring in the Mexican beach pebbles. I am probably going to put some Malaysian driftwood in here as well. That way they've got some hardwood and some softwood to munch on. I did go ahead, I had an extra Aqua Clear 50. Since this tank is a little bit longer, it's like 3.5 foot long, somewhere around in there. It's like not quite a 30 long, but it's like a 29 long or something like that. But anyhow, went ahead and put an Aqua Clear 50 on there. Got the sponge filter jammed in the corner right now with that mopani because it was starting to float. And yeah, so I'm gonna let this tank run for a couple or 3 weeks because bringing in the summer tubs is just right around the corner. We're right at the beginning of August here. I got to get some stuff ready. I know what I'm gonna do with my Rainbow Tiger endlers, and I just needed to have a place to put my guppies and my shrimp. And then I've got to do something other than just these little 10-gallon tanks for these little super red bristlenose. What is up, y'all? It is the next day and I'm getting ready to go live here in about 30 minutes. Yeah, this is what it looks like. Everybody is showing up in the chat. Got about 30 more minutes. This is what it looks like whenever I go live. I've added a light with a piece of paper covering it as a diffuser. And I just added me a little microphone screen. And I also hardwired the laptop. So hopefully tonight's live stream will be a little bit better. More about that in the future. I'm going to be doing some changes too. Trying to make my studio a little nicer, but it is the next day after I set up this tank, and you can see the tannins are starting to leach out on this mopani. I did go ahead and take the Aqua Clear apart. I had a piece of batten up in there that was pretty filthy and clogged up, and the flow wasn't very good. So now it has blown all of my guppy grass up over to this side, but I'm gonna go ahead and let the guppy grass get pretty thick in this tank. And yeah, this tank is cycled and ready to go. All the media in the Aqua Clear is cycled and the sponge filter is cycled, so I could put stuff in here anytime. So I would say I'm gonna go ahead and move the super red bristlenose plecos all in here first, and I'm still gonna wait a few weeks on the guppies, so I probably won't do that this video. But yeah, so the next time I check in with you guys, I'll be adding some super reds. It's gonna be crazy because it's 3 different tanks. But let's go live. Let's go live. All right guys, since my super reds are out eating, I think I'm gonna go ahead and move them tonight. So the tank is ready, I'm ready. It's time to get this show on the road. So I'm moving 2 different clutches of super red babies. Here goes nothing. Alright guys, the little boogers in the first tank were really hard to catch, but I got them and a ton of duckweed and guppy grass. And looks like I got a shrimp too. See if they can all get out of here peacefully. Bunch of super reds everywhere. Really care for the duckweed. I don't mind the guppy grass. Maybe it won't last for long thing. Alright, that is the first batch. Super red bristlenose. The next one is right over here. Alright guys, now what I'm going to do is try to catch more of these bad boys. And I've got a bunch of duckweed in this tank too, so I'm going to try to skim some duckweed. I absolutely hate duckweed. I've got like millions of gallons of duckweed, or pounds, whatever you want to call it. Alright guys, I think I've just about got them all. I'm waiting for the tank to settle so it'll be clear enough that I can look one last time in that one. I did go back to the first tank with the larger ones, and I did find one more. I'll wait for it to settle again. As you can see throughout the tank, they're everywhere, and now that they're in a bigger tank, they ought to grow a little bit quicker. Next chance I get, I'll get some super glue. I just found a couple, like Java Fern Windelobe and Java Fern Standard. I'll get some super glue and glue those down to some of the wood and spruce this tank up a little bit, but they're searching around. I'm gonna get some mulm out of this little container right up here and put a light on it to where you guys can see them. Alright guys, there's a lot less in there than what I thought there was gonna be. I would say the first clutch probably had 30 or so in it, but this one maybe 10. And then a female shrimp. I don't know, I might put her in the wild tank because I'm gonna have black shrimp in this tank. So I need to grab that other one that we saw just a little bit ago and pull it out. But I'm gonna give this tank one last once over, make sure there's no more in there, and then we will release them. Alright guys, I have checked the tanks over and over again and can't find any more, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that shrimp out of there, and then I'm going to go ahead and release these super red bristlenose into the tank. And yeehaw, there's another shrimp over there I gotta get. I don't want any red shrimp in here, so found this one in here a little bit ago. Scoot him out here so I can catch and put this female in the squirrel's tank. There it is. She's a pretty big fat female. Not in there though. Don't want her in there. Alright, so it is time to go ahead and let all these super reds out. Get my light back here. Went ahead and moved that aqua clear to the back. I didn't like it up there on the side. It's just in the way. Alright guys. All that mulm. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's 10 of them. There they all went. Mulm and all. They've been living off of mulm. They're cute little buggers. Alright guys, before I leave you, I have to take these week-and-a-half old super reds and put in the tank I've been working on here, because grab a flashlight here and see if you guys can see this. Hang on one second. Because inside this cave right here is a male on a clutch of eggs. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull these guys out, put them in this tank, Make sure everything's cleared out, cleaned out real good, clean out the sponge real good, put it all back together, and then kick Daddy out and scrape the eggs out. And I'm going to try to video as much of it as possible for the end of this video. Guys, he is so goofy. So I just caught him in the wrong cave, and now he's up over here. This will be the 4th clutch, and I've taken him out every time, so I never did let him learn how to do this. So now I'm probably stuck doing it every time, but I'm okay with that because I don't want super red babies everywhere in here. But I did go ahead and get their little home all cleaned up. I went ahead and put a new sponge in there because the last one, I lost a couple of babies. They got underneath here and got trapped and didn't notice it. But cleaned off my driftwood, got a brand new tight sponge in there, got the air stone in there. Now all I got to do is pull out the cave that the male is not in and scrape out the eggs. So I'm gonna try to get this on video if I can, and we'll see how it goes. Here we go. I know there's a Malaysian trumpet snail or two in there. Alright guys, I know you won't be able to see them, but alright. So now, it's hard for me to see too. So I'm going to scrape. There we go. They're going to come out real easy. Where I thought. There's one egg. I had the whole clutch. Okay, I got to get some water in here, guys. Sorry guys. There we go. Okay, that is the entire clutch. Not another egg left. They actually disconnected pretty easy. I'm assuming that the male did fertilize the eggs. But I won't know for a couple of days. Start seeing some eyeballs and different things. And let's get this lid back over here. Get it all set up. I got a really good system going here actually. I don't keep this light on all the time. I just did this for video purposes. But if you guys look, there is a really nice clutch. Super red bristlenose plecos. And now over in the other tank I've got 3 clutches of super reds in this new tank for them. So got 3 different sizes. The smallest are only a little over a week old. The next are a little over a month old. You can see these little guys up here making themselves at home. Making themselves at home in the new tank. But you know, we got week old, we got 1 to 2 month, and then 2 to 3 month old. And then I would say in about 3 days these bad boys should hatch. So pretty crazy. I'm gonna end up having to sell some Pleco someday. Alright guys, thought I would check in one last time because these eggs have hatched. It's only been like, maybe 2 days since I last checked in with you guys. And there is a significant more amount of fry this time. So what I think it is this hatch, this spawn right here came from my oldest female, And that last spawning that only had 10 babies has to be the younger female, and that would have been probably her first spawning. So pretty stoked about that, because I was worried that that last spawn was a smaller hatch. You know, I was worried that my female, there was something wrong, but I think it's just 2 separate females, and that other one, it was her first hatch. So more babies. I'm gonna have to start getting rid of some of these super reds one of these days. Good grief.
So what'd you guys think? I'm really glad that I finally got a tank to put all my super red bristlenose babies in, because I had them all spread out to 3 different 10-gallon tanks. They weren't growing out as fast as what I wanted, and now I can, you know, really focus on their feedings and get them fed all at the same time, and determine what their size is and get rid of them from there. And thought it was really cool at the end whenever I found the eggs in the mom and dad's tank. I thought that was really fitting. I didn't really want to have to move those 1-week-old babies out of the little hang on the back there, but it is what it is. I just went ahead and went with the flow, and didn't want to have those babies and the eggs in the same thing at the same time, so it is what it is. If it is your first time stopping by my channel, make sure and hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, don't forget to hit that post notification bell. I'm uploading videos every Monday and Thursday, and I also live stream every Wednesday and Saturday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks for coming along on this video. Hopefully you enjoyed. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace out, y'all.